And so there are so many things in the Bible that are actually very interesting. I think I'll try and answer some few questions, some very few questions. You know, Genesis 1 verse 1 is a compendium of many things, and by the hand of God we've been able to open up some things that actually are hidden in the Bible. And I'll just talk on few things. Was there a word before Adam? Did something really exist before Adam? You know, people say that and it looks very theoretical. What does the Bible have to say concerning this story? People will be asking, was there something before Adam? Science have been putting a lot of fact outside to show that actually it's like there was something before Adam. But I would say Christians or the church has been opposing that reality. But I have been doing certain studies, and God has privileged me to see some things in the Bible that is worth sharing. It's really worth sharing. So let's look at Genesis. Let's look at the beginning of the beginning. Genesis 1 verse 1. And the Bible said, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. One question people tend to ask here is, where was God before he began this beginning? Because there is a Christian notion that says God is in heaven. But this Genesis 1 verse 1 is disputing that fact, that it's like God is not in heaven. Because if he's in heaven, then how did he create something he's inside? It doesn't make sense. First question we'll be asking today is, where does God actually stay? But the Bible has not left us in many doubts. God has, through certain ministers in the Word of God, showed us certain realities, that there is a place actually God dwells, and this place is beyond heaven. Let's see what Timothy has to say concerning where God actually dwells. Radical sobra de la crespilanosa. Akila krashabaliga Timothy. What did Apostle Paul say to Timothy? And I like this Bible actually. It has two versions. So we'll be reading it from two things. We'll be reading this reality from two angles. Agadigi digi digadi. We give you the highest praise to the King. First Timothy chapter 6. First Timothy chapter 6. Barudo Subridiash. What does Timothy have to say? Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God. I'm looking for something. I don't want to read the whole verse. I just want to pick out what I want to say to actually save us time. Jesus, God, this your Bible is wonderful. Speaking about the God, verse 16, who only has immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach. Hey, my father, Malada Hasia. Let me go through this thing again, because we're asking the question, where is God? If he created the heavens, where does God actually live? First Timothy 6:16, it's making us understand something. Who only has immortality? God is immortality, dwelling in light that no man can approach. God doesn't live in heaven, God lives in light. The heaven is too small to contain God. The Bible said that the heaven is his throne and the earth is who the heaven is his throne, the earth is his footstool. The heaven cannot contain him. Timothy made us understand that he said he dwell in light. The dwelling of God is light. And let me not bypass what I'm saying. Let me not digress from what I'm saying. So if Timothy is saying God doesn't dwell in heaven, and is making us understand that God dwells in light, that goes to say a lot of things actually. But let me not leave what I'm saying. The first question we'll ask today is, was there a word before Adam? The first question we'll ask today was, is there a word before Adam? Did something happen before God created Adam? And let's go back to Genesis. Verse 2 said, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. How can God create something and yet the thing we build without form and void? If God is light, how would it create darkness? There are a lot of questions. Just looking at verse 1 and verse 2, we have many questions to ask. How can God create? God that is light himself create, and there is darkness in what light created? This thing doesn't balance. It's glaring that there is something missing. And let's see if we can actually find these missing things in the Bible. Let's see what Isaiah, what prophet Isaiah have to say. Is there something missing? Can God create, and yet what he created, a whole light, create darkness? Is it possible? Okay, and let's read the account of Isaiah. Isaiah 45 verse 18. Don't forget, Genesis 1 verse 2 said, the earth was without form and void. Verse 1 said God created the heavens and the earth. And the next thing verse 2 is saying is it was without form and void. I want to get something very clear here. Did God truly create the earth without form and void? Did God create the earth empty? Because form and void talks about emptiness, without purpose. But let's see what Isaiah have to say. Isaiah said in Isaiah 45:18, for thus saith the Lord that created the heaven. This is in similitude with what Genesis 1 verse 1 is saying. God created the heaven. He said, God himself that formed the earth, in similitude to Genesis 1 verse 1. And listen very carefully. The Bible said, he had established it, and he created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. That is the